Friends, after these exciting case studies, we will now shift gear and present to you a very interesting session with a distinguished personality, Mr. B Santhanam, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Asia Pacific and India region of the Saint-Gobain Group. Mr. Santhanam will share his thoughts on a holistic approach to productivity improvement and the central role that digital technology plays in this. Mr. Santhanam is in conversation with Mr. Mohan Ram, Senior Advisor at IMTMA. I would now like to introduce Mr. Santhanam. He obtained his B.Tech in Civil Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, and did his post-graduation in Management from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He started his career as a management trainee in May 1980 at Grindwell Norton and served in various functions such as information technology, operations, product development, sales and marketing, eventually rising to the position as a member of the management board. Since July 1st, 2021, he is the CEO of Saint-Gobain APAC and India region and member of the Global Executive Committee of Saint-Gobain, France. He is playing an active role in shaping India's policies in human resources, skill development, sustainability, manufacturing, and digitalization. In 2008, Mr. Santhanam was selected as CEO of the Year, a biannual award by National Human Resource Development Network. He was awarded Doctor of Literature, honoris causa, conferred by Hindustan University, the VC Padmanabhan Memorial Award in the category of Business Excellence leading to development of society at large. Good morning, Mr. Santhanam, and welcome to the National Productivity Summit. It's very nice of you to interact with us on the subject of productivity. So I will now like to have your views on some aspects of productivity which is engaging the attention of industries.
Please, Mr. Mohan Ram, it's really a privilege and an honor to be on your platform. Nothing is more important than the discussion on productivity. I'm extremely pleased in your 75th year. You are really talking about one of the most important aspects of economic growth and improvement in the quality of life for India and Indians in particular. So I'm really happy to be able to chat with you on a few topics that are very relevant today and possibly in the coming future.
Thank you, sir. So my first question is, you see, productivity used to be mainly associated with shop floor efficiency so long in terms of machine tools and their utilization. But do you think this is still valid, or does the concept of productivity go beyond this in today's world?
Yeah, I will answer it at two levels. One is at a firm level and the second at the economy level. Since you are a very important association, I'll first talk about the economy level. At the economy level, productivity is at the heart of improvement in the quality of life, income levels of our citizens. There is nothing better than productivity. In a very simple sense, your GDP growth rate is nothing else but productivity plus the new supply of human talent. There's nothing more than that. It's as simple as that. So if in the next 2 or 3 decades, we are lucky we have the demographic dividend, but that is going to run out. You know that in 2040, we are going to be short on people, talent, because our reproduction rate is now below the growth rate. So given all of that, productivity is absolutely vital. The best of the world's economies have done well when they've grown productivity steeply. So that's at the economy level. We have to talk about productivity. Regrettably, this is not a topic that is widely talked about. Economists, they keep talking about many other subjects. Okay, at a firm level, it's absolutely vital. It's very simple. Indian economy is growing by, forget about the last 2 years, between 6 and 8%. There is an inflation of 4%. So yes. If 10% you do nothing, we all grow. I mean, we don't have to do anything else. The country and the economy will lift us up. All boats will be lifted, some more, some less. But if a firm has to grow much faster than the economy and create a surplus for its stakeholders, it's absolutely vital that we have to focus on the firm level productivity. And regrettably, when we look at a firm level, we look at productivity in a very narrow sense of our own employees and employee value added and other things. But I think we need to have a broader look at the whole human talent that is involved at a firm level. And therefore, it's really, for me, one of the leadership tasks is, am I improving my employee value added at constant factor rate by more than 5 or 6%? A good firm will do probably 6 to 10%. An average firm should do 4 to 5, and below average, you are less than that. So this is vital, and it looks very small, but just remember that it compounds year on year on year. And then we come to do that, you really need to redesign your lines, redesign your machine tools. At the granular level, the productivity of lines, individual lines that we have, into productivity of machines, all of that are very important. But they build up over a period of time. My view, and I'm not an expert in this, all of you are experts. I think too often we concentrated on the efficiency of machines and a particular system, which is fantastic. But when you aggregate it at a company level, we've lost sight of the total productivity that we have to drive. So for me, productivity means human productivity. You may call it as labor or whatever it is. And I want labor to include everybody in the system and not only the frontline employees who are connected with the machines or connected with customers. The total system productivity, as well as, can I combine both the capital and the human talent to optimize and improve? And that's really the heart of the matter for India as well as Indian firms.
Yeah, I think it's a very pertinent point, and that leads us to a simple this thing that digital technology today plays a central role in enterprise efficiency. But unfortunately, our smaller units are finding it difficult to adopt a larger digital integration due to cost, the lack of manpower, and the expertise to operate and maintain the system. Many of them say that, look, I don't have, they feel that they don't have system specialists or computer engineers or people who are trained to operate these and get the best out of them. So, how would you advise smaller units to migrate to a larger digital space? Because that
Correct.
also becomes
I
important.
have Mr. Mohan Ram, I have a slightly different take on that.
Yeah.
Uh, 3 or 4 years ago, with the CAI Southern Region, I was chairing a group called Manufacturing and Digital Excellence. It's called MADE. We wanted it as Made in India for Made for India kind of a thing. So it's manufacturing and digital excellence. And we put together very talented team of both automation experts, great companies like Bosch, who created this whole Industry 4.0 architecture, companies like Siemens, ABB, all the robotic companies, and then also this small and medium enterprises. I think you and I have an important task in educating the MSMEs that, unlike the IT revolution, digitalization and digital transformation is scalable, replicable, modular, and can be done in bite-sized chunks. You don't need to have a complex ERP. I need to have, Bosch will have to have, Fanuc will have to have, because we have complex systems. I personally believe that the modularity, the scalability, and the ease with which you can put things together makes digital much easier for MSMEs. So our job is to convince them it's not that complex. Okay, it is not that complicated to be able to do that. And I can give you an example. We're a large company, large group, but much of our digital transformation is coming from engineers who passed out 2 3 years ago. I have an engineer who for just, we put a budget of 1 lakh, and he created an industry PC which integrates all the PLC SCADA data and sends it to the cloud in a very secure environment. Here we have done the digital integration from what they call as L2 to L3 in no time. And this industrial PC, hardwired with all the cybersecurity, costed us $300. So I think there is huge amount of talent coming out of India today. And I want to tell you, just like the IT talent, the talent in digital today is widely distributed. I have people from Rajapalayam Polytechnic doing advanced work. They are 20-year-old diploma holders in mechatronics. I think if the leadership in MSME is very clear, they can start this. And unlike IT, it is not budget intensive. You can do it at a certain pace. You can connect up machines, or you can connect up some simple things. And we are working with startups to do things which we didn't think was possible. We have a startup which is helping us to give a vision system integrated with AI at an unbelievably low cost of investment, with the result that all our forklifts can detect humans from inanimate objects and stop when there is a human and guide themselves. And this is done by a small startup in Kochi, not Bengaluru, not Chennai, not Coimbatore. So
Point taken,
I
yes.
think the what you and I have to do, sir, is we have to go to them that this is possible, and if you don't do it, you're going to suffer and grow. We have to communicate that message that this is not complicated. And today, the digital architecture that is available to us makes everything easily possible. You can do a pilot in 4 weeks, roll it out, make mistakes, redo that in 3 months. Whereas if you want to do your IT for the entire system, it will take probably 2 years, change management issues. Yes. So I think you and I have a duty to go and tell them, embrace it. Don't worry about it. It is not going to stop your factories, but it's going to help you. So that's number one. And I'll give a very simple example. And I think many of this can. We have a factory, which is a process factory. There is pressure, temperature, all of that sensors. Our operator there belongs to a union. And so we convinced the union that it's good for you. Digital is not going to replace frontline employees. It is going to empower you. And what it meant was that today that person is doing, based on pressures, tensors, and some rules, he is able to do what his supervisor was doing. And he comes and says, I'm proud. I can go and tell my son, who's saying that you are just a frontline worker. He says, I'm using an iPad. I'm taking decisions that an engineer did. That is empowering. If we convey that message, our entry-level employees, many of those people, it'll be a dramatic shift in the quality of work. And I saw the presentation by Mr. Soumitra. I think he was absolutely right. Autonomous decision making is very close to us. We can do 80% of our decisions very quickly. We need high quality cognitive talent for the other 20%. But the 80% of what we can do in factories is amenable, and digital can play a role. We have to send this message out. If we don't, and in this, India is uniquely blessed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think what we need to do is to have some messiahs from our senior people to take it to the MSMEs. Yeah, I think that's a job in front of us so that they also get integrated into the digital world. You had also said about automation and lean. You were saying that autonomous systems and a little bit of automation and lean was also touted as, sort of a panacea for productivity improvement in the recent past. Do you see a wider adoption of these in India? I mean, automation in the companies and lean technology.
I think companies like yours, the Lean Institute, CA Institute of Quality, have really done a yeoman's service by driving the TPM or the TQM or lean, whatever be the methods that we call about, they're all attempting to do finally improve the enterprise productivity, cost, quality, and value. I think
Yeah.
they are absolutely relevant, but I want us not to have a fetish about efficiency, but look at effectiveness. I think long back, I realized that efficiency is important, but to be more effective is much better. I don't mind a little bit of inefficiency in the system. So lean is now under a lot of the lean as just in time is under stress today. You know that because of the supply chain disruption. So what I
Yeah.
want to do, there is no one size fits all. I think lean is important. At the core, you and I have to be fit. That means the firms have to be fit, and
Yes.
that's the health of the firm. But can I combine that with scenario analysis to make sure that am I being efficient for the sake of efficiency? Do I combine effectiveness? So that means you really have to look at your business continuity and many other parameters in leadership and management. Lean is still very relevant. I don't think any of us can say that lean is not relevant because lean is at the core. In you have what is called it's a principle of if a firm can do its maximum with the least amount of human and resource intensity, and that's the best thing. I mean, that's a mathematical necessity. I believe that lean has relevance, but I don't want people to be on a one track mind that I only do lean. Okay,
Okay.
we have to look at holistically that other aspects. So that is where the challenge comes for us. When we tell our firms do TPM, TQM, they're single-mindedly working on that. And you know that famous thing of what is called inattention blindness. When you are single-mindedly focused, you miss peripheral things that are happening. So I think as leaders, we have to do both focus and also be aware. It is a challenge, but that's really what we have to tell the people. If we combine these focus and being aware of what's happening around, then we have a fantastic opportunity. But lean is at the heart of productivity improvement. But lean systems and not just lean machines or machining centers. Okay, so that is something which is what I wanted to. That's my point of view, at least.
I think that's a very valid observation. In fact, you mentioned just now the systems. The word today has a great connotation. And you were saying about system thinking in a chat we had some time back. Uh, what is that important for the future of machine tools and manufacturing? As you rightly said, it's not only focus on the narrow field of shop floor efficiency, but a holistic approach
Correct.
towards.
Correct. So
Could you tell
today,
us something
one,
about systems thinking?
your machine tool industry has embraced digital. I am quite happy about uh, many of the improvements and the enhancements the machine tool industry has made in India. Okay, I'm sure that we can do more, but when I spend some time with Ravi Raghavan of BFW, he's done
Yes.
an amazing job. Okay, but we need 100 Ravi Raghavans in this country. We have maybe 10. So that is number one. So what I mean is there is a machine, there are operations, there is maintenance, there is training. I think a machine tool maker must look at all these adjacencies and incorporate all of that. Who knows better about the machines than the machine tool maker themselves? If we can incorporate all of that, that means I'm not having one maintenance supervisor. I'm training people on the line. I'm able to combine skill development and I'm able to give on site services and I'm constantly monitoring the data. Now, today there are a few firms that are doing that. I'm fairly sure that there are firms that are doing that. But we need more machine tool firms to move away from the concept of machine to a wider portfolio. Can I look ahead? Can I integrate some of the lines, some of the inefficiencies upstream of my machine Can I incorporate some of the inefficiencies downstream of the machine? That means we have to expand our focus. If I'm having a machining center, can I look at automating my entry and exit? Okay, can I automate training for 90% of the skills that is required? Can I say in advance when the machine needs attention? All of this is today with a combination of sensors that is possible. Now, companies can do that. You can provide the protocol. So therefore, I would like the machine tool makers to look left and right, up and down, and top and bottom, and combine that. And I want to tell you, the money is not in the capex. The money is in the services. Unfortunately, India, we still love this machine. When you go and, as a machine tool maker, when you go and negotiate with large companies like us, we will beat you down. But if you say, I'm going to take care of your maintenance, I'm going to take care of your training, I'm going to take care of upstream inefficiencies downstream, we'll welcome you. Then the cost of the machine tool is not what we are paying you, but the cost of the entire system, because you're able to look at it holistically. I think there are some Indian machine tool makers who have done a fantastic job. So that means we have to be slightly different in this. So we need more simple automation specialists in the machine tool fraternity. We shouldn't be just concerned with the SCADA PLC, but we have to go beyond that. So plug and play is going to be important so that they don't have to worry about this. I talked about this industrial PC. What prevents a machine tool maker from incorporating an industrial PC for 30,000 rupees in the machine, saying, here is it, whichever protocol that you want, this will provide all the data that you want. So I think when you do that, you become a strategic partner rather than a capex vendor. And
that's a very good
our machine tool industry has got this potential.
Thank you for those inputs. In fact, you have given us a marketing tool, which I think more of our companies must adopt in the near future. So that's very nice of you. I would like to ask you one last question because we are slightly running out of time. How do you think our industry should respond to the users' demands for high productivity? What advice do you like to give to our industry for its continued growth in the future? Our industry, I mean, the machine tool industry. How should it grow in the future? What are some of your views on that?
I think we have stuck to our knitting too long, too much. So I think you are a fantastic industry, and with great innovation, high quality machine tools that we make, I believe the machine tool industry must look beyond the automotive industry. I'm sorry. I know that some of my colleagues from automotive industry may feel a bit upset. I'm also part of the automotive industry because a good part of our revenues we derive from automotive industry. I think we must go beyond the automotive industry and look at many other industries. Obviously, we'll serve the automotive OEMs, there is a lot of opportunities in that. Really speaking, for India today, we have 50% in manufacturing.
Yes.
Out of that 15%, depending upon who you ask, maybe at best a third of that comes from automotive. Why must the machine tool industry be obsessed with 5% of the economy? What prevents a machine tool industry from creating a warehouse automation tool? Why do we have to buy the warehouse automation tool from Germany or Belgium or Netherlands or China? So what I'm saying is, the competence and the skills that our machine tool industry has can be expanded. What we call as adjacencies, in all of us are trying to go into adjacencies. So I would say that while keeping your razor sharp focus on automotive industry, can you expand to other industries? Can you look at, and the worst industry for productivity in the last 50 years in the world is construction. And construction industry globally is automating furiously. I need a robot which will do a plastering of the wall. Do you know how difficult it is to get that? Why can't the machine tool industry give me a robot that will plaster the wall? I think, in my opinion, be laser sharp in your focus because automotive industry gives you that sharp edge to do things, complex things. But can you expand that beyond the automotive industry? Can you serve the manufacturing and the construction and the mining industry? Then you are addressing 5x. Today, you're probably addressing 1x. And when our talented people who are machine tool builders, system builders, shift that focus without losing the focus on the existing, you really are expanding your horizon.
That's a very good input that you give. In fact, our industry is also looking seriously at that because we have for a long time only focused very strongly on the auto industry. And there are going to be technology shifts in the auto industry, which is going to make machine tools maybe a slightly less, less of a market in the future with the coming of EVs. So we are looking into that, and it's a very good input that you have given us to go to the construction industry and the other areas of the economy. I would like to thank you, Mr. Santhanam, for this excellent talk we had today. You have given us some very good inputs on how to market services along with our products, and also that the machine tool industry should look at a wider part of the economy for its future growth. I would like to thank you on behalf of my colleagues, and I'm sure our audience would have had a very good inputs for their own productivity improvements in terms of digitalization, looking at holistic productivity in the shop floor and beyond. And I hope some of them will apply that, and our entire productivity in the nation as a whole will be raised to higher levels so we can compete with countries like China and others. Thank you, Mr. Santhanam. Thank you very much for this interaction.
Thank you. I really appreciate the privilege of speaking to you and leaders like you through your association. I wish you the very best for the next 25 years so that when you celebrate your 100 years, you made a remarkable service to the Indian industry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.